creating address labels in Microsoft Word using a list of addresses we have stored separately in an Excel spreadsheet. A couple quick notes on this example. In this video I'm using Microsoft Word from Office 2013, so it may look slightly different in other versions of Word, but the process is pretty much the same. Also, in order to import addresses from a spreadsheet using this method, the file must be in XLS or XLSX format. I do not believe this will work with a CSV file format. If your addresses are currently saved in the CSV file, simply open the file using Microsoft Excel and then do a file save as, and then save it as a new spreadsheet using either the XLSX or XLS file format. So let's get started. Let's open up Microsoft Word, and I'm just going to start with a default blank document, and then I'm going to set it up to print out address labels to be printed. So, and also I'm going to show you my example spreadsheet that I'm using with some demo addresses, some example addresses. I've set up my first row in this spreadsheet with column headers with a name of what is in that column. I would recommend you do the same, something simpler, and this will actually help Microsoft Word figure out what's what. One other note on your spreadsheet, if you have your addresses saved in a spreadsheet with a whole bunch of other information, maybe customer info, random things like that, customer numbers, things like that, just select only the columns that with information that you need for creating the address labels, and maybe copy that and then paste it into a new spreadsheet, and then use that new spreadsheet with only the information you need for creating the address labels. Use that for the import into Microsoft Word. So just wanted to mention that real quick. So let's close this out and go back to Microsoft Word. So to get started, we need to go to the Mailings tab at the very top and select Recipients and use an existing list. This is going to tell Microsoft Word where our addresses are stored in order to be able to import them to create our address labels. So I'm going to first change my source type to Excel files, because I've got it saved as an Excel file. As in most cases, that's probably going to be it. And then I'm going to browse to where I've got it saved. In this case, I've got it saved in my desktop in a test addresses spreadsheet. I'm going to click on Open. It's going to confirm that I want to use the default sheet 1. I only have one tab on that spreadsheet. And then I'm leaving this checked because I do want Microsoft Word to understand that on the first row of that spreadsheet, there is column headers or names for each column. So that is, and if you don't have that, I would recommend that you add that in there. Alright, so I'm going to click on OK, and then there are no errors, so Microsoft Word should be ready to use those addresses for an import. So next thing I'm going to do is go to Start Mail Merge and select Labels, because I want to create some address labels. And then I want to select the exact type of labels that I'm using. In this case, as an example, I'm using Avery labels, which is probably most common. This is the exact number, model number of the labels that I'm using. I would just recommend you make sure, don't just guess on this, use the exact model number of the labels that you're going to be actually printing on for the best results. So I'm going to click on OK. And now it has my margins and the spacing and everything set up in Microsoft Word exactly the size of the labels that I'm going to be printing on. So now I need to click in this first spot here, and I'm going to set up the address label. So to start, just real quick, you can, if you want to just let Microsoft Word set it all up for you in the format that you like and you're comfortable with it, you can just simply click on Address Block, and it'll pop up with this wizard. It'll ask you if all this looks okay, if this is the formatting you want to use, blah blah blah, and then it'll just you can click on OK, and then it'll fill it all out for you. So I'm actually not going to use that in this case, and I'll show you why. If I go to Preview Results, it'll show me what this is going to look like. In this case, this first address has a suite number. You may be fine with this showing up on a new line, and if so, then just use the address block. If you don't like that, and in my case, I want the suite number, apartment number to show on the same line as the regular street address with a comma and space, and then suite number, apartment number. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well. I'm going to turn off the preview results, and I'm going to undo the changes I just did. Start back with where we were. Alright, so in this case, I'm going to build it manually using the individual fields exactly how I want them to look. So first, I'm going to insert first name, hit space on the keyboard to add a space in between the first and last names, and select last name, hit enter to start a new line, add address 1, and right here, this is where we got to get a little, do a little bit more, because if I have an address that has a street address with no suite or apartment number, I don't want the space, the comma and then a space after it to show up, because that looks silly. I only want a space, a comma and a space to show up if there is a suite or apartment number. So in that case, I'm going to, instead of hitting space here and manually typing it in, I'm going to go to rules, and then if then else. I'm going to add if then else statement. So I'm going to say if address 2 is not blank, i.e. there is something in address 2, so there is a suite or apartment number, then add a comma and a space. Otherwise, insert nothing. Hit OK, and then I'm going to insert address 2. So that's only going to show, this whole section there is only going to show up if there is something in the address 2 column. Then I'm going to hit enter, start a new line, and I add my city, comma, space, state, space, zip. Alright, so let's see how that's going to look. Preview results, and there we go. This one has a suite number, so it does show the space, the comma, space, suite 500. Let's turn that back off. Go ahead and update all of our labels, this with the format that we want here. And now let's preview the results for the rest of them. So you can see here in this one, there's no suite or apartment number, and there is no comma, space, or any empty space there. This is how we want it to look. So in this case, I could just go ahead and print. I'd be ready to go, but I'm going to do a couple other small things. You can see there's kind of a lot of white space there, so I might as well actually fill it up a little bit better. So I'm actually going to modify the formatting just a little bit. I'm going to select all of the text in this first field, and I'm going to change, for example, I want to change the font to Calibri Light, and then I want to increase the font size. Or say I just wanted to make the name larger and not everything else, I could do that. Or say I wanted to make just the name a different color, I could do that. I can do all sorts of stuff in here if you want to customize the way it looks. Alright, so I'm good with that, and then to update all of them, I just click on Update Labels, and it applies that formatting all the way down through there. And then one other thing I'm going to do just a little bit is, I feel like this text is maybe a little too close to the edge for my own. I'm just not quite as comfortable with that. So I'm actually going to go to, I believe, Layout. Yes, Layout tab at the very top. And then I'm going to select Cell Margins. I'm going to increase this to maybe a 0.05 for top and left, just to give it a little more room to breathe there. So hopefully it doesn't touch the edge of the label. And I feel like that's decent there. So, alright, so back to the Mailings tab. I think we feel good with this. Let's turn that back off. And you can see this is the background stuff. Clicking preview, this is what it's actually going to look like with the mail merge. And then now, finally, I am going to click on Finish and Merge, and that's going to actually do the full import of all the addresses I have in that spreadsheet. I'm going to select Print Documents. I want all of them. If you wanted to, you could just select from a certain row number in your spreadsheet to, or a record in your spreadsheet to, another number. And if you just wanted to print a subset of them, say you want to do just maybe one sheet didn't print out correctly, you just want to print out that one sheet, just track down which numbers those are, and then you can enter those numbers there. For this example, I'm selecting all of them. Hit OK. For this test, I'm actually going to print a PDF file just so you can see what it looks like. Normally, obviously, you would select your actual printer. But I'm going to select Microsoft Print to PDF, hit OK. It's going to ask me where I want to save it. I'm going to save it as my test file on the desktop. And I'm going to replace it. Alright, so let's open that up and see what it looks like. Bring that up. Bring it over, and this is the PDF file. This is how it would have printed out on my actual address labels. You can see it stopped when it ran out of records in my spreadsheet. So it basically just printed out everything that was in that spreadsheet. And once again, you can select obviously the ones you do or don't want, or you can just select, print one label at a time if you want. But this is how you do it to save yourself a lot of time instead of manually copying and pasting from a spreadsheet or however else you planned on doing it. This is how you can use a spreadsheet with a giant list of addresses to use Microsoft Word to automatically populate, generate your address labels and print them all out together. So hopefully this was helpful to you, and If you have any comments or suggestions, or feel I got something wrong, or have any feedback, feel free to comment on this video and just let me know what you think. Hope you have a great day. This video is brought to you by Technology Services of Knoxville, located in Knoxville, Tennessee. Visit our website at tsknoxville.com or give us a call at 865-257-9093 if you are located in the East Tennessee area and have any business technology needs. Thanks for watching.